Today we going to jump down the rabbit hole with one of the best books, Top Secret Banker's Manual, written by Tom Schauf, an American patriot. Right before we jump in, I need to ask you guys for a big favor. Could you all please smash the subscribe button and notifications and like this video if you received any value from it, and share it with yourself, so you could go back and rehear it. Also share it with friends to help empower and grow as a group and become a driving force. With your help we can continue to provide this powerful content free of cost to y'all. With all that said, let's jump into this great book, The Top Secret Banker's Manual. Top Secret Banker's Manual. This manual is designed for bank presidents and vice presidents only. Secret Loan Agreement Court and UCC Secrets: How bankers can quickly double investment money. Methods for controlling the media, politicians and judges. Contents: message to bankers, politicians and law enforcement. If any threats are made to Mr. Schauf or laws passed to attempt to stop Mr. Schauf, we have a legal plan. We have a plan to checkmate the bankers no matter what strategy is used to stop Mr. Schauf. Mr. Schauf has placed critical information in the hands of others that will be released en masse if bankers' politicians take certain actions. Mr. Schauf will act in a legal manner, act decisively, swiftly, in a way that no banker will want to happen. If Mr. Schauf has problems, he will presume it came from bankers and legal action will be taken. Mr. Schauf suggests that the bankers make certain that Mr. Schauf remains very happy. Bankers may approach Mr. Schauf with a settlement offer. If bankers try and go to a national LD compel or chip implant, use terrorism to force their hand, make threats against Mr. Schauf, or use other methods, Mr. Schauf has a plan to legally checkmate these attempts and win against the bankers. Mr. Schauf believes that he was called by God to lead the nation out of debt bondage, and Mr. Schauf fears God more than man. Mr. Schauf assures all Americans that every contingency has been considered, along with our response. We will not fail. God is with us and no man can stop God. My goal is to inform every American to the truth so they can then vote me in as president so I can correct the banking problem and return their rights and freedoms. Let's jump into the table of content and see what we going to drive into. Table of Content. Forward 5. Acknowledgements 9. Introduction 1 About the author. 15 About the manual, its purpose. 16 Chapter 1 Warning. 17 Chapter 2 Court Strategy. 22 CPA Banking Report by Thomas Schauf, CPA. 34 Chapter 3 Additional Laws Strategies. 48 Chapter 4 What Bankers Fear. 51 Chapter 5 Notices. 55 Chapter 6 Two Kinds of Money. 58 Chapter 7 Credit Card. 61 Chapter 8 Credit Card Bookkeeping Entries. 65 Chapter 9 Debt Collectors. 67 Chapter 10 Doubling Money. 69 Chapter 1 Changing the System. 72 Chapter 12 Ultimate Fear of Bankers. 73 Chapter 13 The Threat to the Economy. 75 Chapter 14 Title 12 USC, The Banking Law. 78 Chapter 15 Auditors and Attorneys. 80 Chapter 16 Introduction to Preliminary Judicial Procedures. 83 Chapter 17 The Bible and Today's Banking. 90 Summary. 97 Appendix. 102 Suggested Court Admissions. 103 Strategy of Notices. 106 Notice of Adequate Assurance of Due Performance. 110 Affidavit of I Been Robbed. 112 Affidavit Bank. 114 Affidavit Credit Union. 116 Notice and Demand. 118 Notice of Alleged Loan Dispute. 128 Notice of Holder in Due Course Status. 134 Notice for Request of Confirmation. 138 Notice for Request of Confirmation. 2 Vertical bar. 140 Notice of Breach of Agreement. 142 Notice and Demand for Full Disclosure. 145 Proof of Mailing and Certificate of Service. 148 Acts, Statutes, Regulations, Terms. 150 Excerpts from Tom's first book. 154 Forward Disclaimer. People reselling the Top Secret Banker's Manual and Books 1 and 2 may offer consulting services and/or other products. Please be aware that Tom Schauf has no partners and that anyone you contract with for consultations or other services is acting as an independent agent. Tom Schauf has no control over what other people offer you as consultations, comments, advice, information or products. Tom Schauf is not liable for what these others may offer or the results thereof. This manual is for educational purposes only and not legal advice. Tom Schauf is educating you so you might vote him in as president to correct the problems. In the foreword to Tom's second book, The American Voters versus the Bankdressy System, Tom says, 1. No, God called me to get the banking message out to the nation. I do not claim to do this from my power but rather from the authority, power and provision of God's anointing in my life. Since March of 1998, one began reading Tom's books and listening to his audio tapes, and frequently heard Tom on shortwave radio as I tried to set alternative news about what is really going on in this county. After confirming Tom's information by my own research, and participating in Tom's weekly conference calls, it became apparent that it was time for me to take an active part in assisting Tom in his calling. In a recent phone call with Tom, he wondered why he had been missing some important financial exchanges in his most recent venture. He realized that God wanted this manual completed first. It appears to me that God is ready now to begin the fulfillment of the vision described in Habakkuk 2. Then the Lord answered me and said, "Record the vision, and inscribe it on tablets, that the one who reads it may run. For it is yet for the appointed time, it hastens toward the goal, and it will not fail. Though it tarries, wait for it will certainly come, it will not delay. Behold the proud one, his soul is not right within him. Will not all of these take up a taunt song against him, even mockery and insinuations against him, and say, Woe to him who increases what is not his for how long and makes himself rich with loans? Will not your creditors rise up suddenly, and those who collect from you awaken? Indeed, you will become plunder for them. Because you have looted many nations, all the remainder remnant of the peoples will loot on because of human bloodshed and violence done to the land, to the town and all its inhabitants." Hab 2. 1468 Nav is the collapse of the World Trade Center and the collapse of Enron, both major financial powers in America, just a coincidence? Or is the living Creator allowing these events to occur to prepare the way for his remnant to spoil their financial slave masters just as they spoiled the Egyptians before they left Egypt? Certainly the credibility of the certified public accountants and auditors has suffered a major blow. Americans may be beginning to realize that they need to demand a full disclosure and a complete accounting from those who are supposed to be protecting their financial, as well as political, interests. So the timing of the secret banker's manual from Tom could not have been better. Perhaps this is part of the fulfillment of Isaiah 41:15. Behold, I have made you a new sharp threshing sledge, instrument KJV vertical bar with double edges. You will thresh the mountains, and pulverize them, and will make the hills like chaff. Nav. Since today's slavery is mainly accomplished by written contracts and laws of men paperwork, this instrument mostly likely is a paperwork solution using Babylon's own paperwork system against them. Thou shalt go to Babylon, its statutes UCC, USC, CFR vertical bar. There shalt thou be delivered. Micah 4:10-16. Thou didst pierce with his own spears the head of his throngs. Habakkuk 3.14 Nav. Just how important is it that we act on this manual, and tell our friends about it? Micah 6 shows that God is angry with us for and doing something about this financial caste system, and will strike us down with sickness and poverty unless we act to expose and correct this fraud and injustice. Notice Micah 6. 1, 2, 10-16 Nav. Hear now what the Lord is saying. Listen, you mountains, to the indictment of the Lord. Because the Lord has a case against his people. Is there yet a man in the wicked house, along with treasures of wickedness, and a short measure that is cursed? Abominable KJV? Can I justify wicked scales and a bag of deceptive weights? For the rich men of the city are full of violence, unrighteous gain. Strong's 2555J. Her residents speak lies, breach contract. Strong's 8267, and their tongue is deceitful in their mouth. So also will I make you sick, striking you down, desolating you because of your sins. You will eat, but you will not be satisfied, not enough to eat. You will sow, but you will not reap. Slavery. Therefore, El will give you up for destruction. Let's put it this way. Since the remnant is prophesied to be doing this work of spoiling the money masters, if we are not involved doing this work, then we are not part of God's remnant. So says Habakkuk 2. Arise and thresh. Micah 4:13 is the enlightened battle cry of this remnant, consecrating the gain and substance to the Lord of the whole earth. Those who are part of the remnant are not selfishly focused on going to court to get out of their own loans. They are focused on God's end-time work of correcting the system, removing the fraud, enabling everyone to have full disclosure and equal protection under the law, so that no one is damaged by theft or counterfeiting, which debases the currency. The living Creator cares for till peoples on the earth, and has no pleasure in the death of anyone. Ezekiel 18.32. Likewise, we need to care for everyone, and not be like Jonah, who only cared for himself and how he would look if God did not wipe out all of the people of Nineveh for their sins as Jonah had prophesied. Isaiah 52:1-3 shows that it is time now to awake. Awake from being drugged and dumbed down by TV, to shake off the dust brainwash of mass media propaganda, to rise up and sit down rule, and to loose yourself from the chains around your neck. Fraudulent contracts. You were sold for nothing, and you will be redeemed without money. If your promissory note was stolen, this manual will set you free by exposing the truth of the loan agreement, and giving you notices to demand full disclosure of the bookkeeping entries. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you will be notified as soon as the new episode of this empowering series are released, and make sure to share it with yourself to rehear it again and help us reach more people by sharing it with a friend, family member, also by sharing and helping boost the social media AI algorithm. If you like and can donate to the cause and help, you can click on our Linktree at Wealth Alchemist and donate on PayPal me, Cash App me direct to Mr. Alchemist. For anyone that donates from 1.005 will receive a free PDF Meet Your Straw Man flip book and audiobook, as a token of our appreciation. Also, if other freedom educator would like to use our created content series, reach out to us. We can work on a licensing agreement.